Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about how Digimon 2020 ruined Tai. I could not believe it. Like, my eyes and my ears just couldn't believe what they did to this beloved character. Because in '01, Tai was the man. Contrary to belief, Tai ain't perfect. But he was that lovable character. Heck, he was my favorite character in '01. And so, like, the thing about Tai is that we all know a Tai in our life. Either we were him or like we know somebody like him. And he's your typical kid, you know what I'm saying? Like a guy kid and stuff. Like, he's sportsy, he's a little arrogant at times, he's a little bit of a slacker, he's head driven. He's brave, he likes to have fun, he likes to joke around with his friends. But he was, even though, like, he can be a bit stubborn at times and a bit carefree, he was the leader of the Digimon Digidestins and stuff. And I'm not even sure if anybody appointed him as leader or he just took up the mantle. But like, he was just one of those characters that was so driven and that, he knew he had to do the right thing and get all these kids home and all this other stuff and save the digital world and the real world. So he just took that initiative and stuff. He is very brave. He has like a heart of gold and he has a lot of courage, which is why he has the crest of courage. And him and Agumon are like two best friends and everything. They just get along so well. And the thing about him in the original series was like, in my interpretation of him, I don't know if this is other people's interpretation, he kind of viewed the digital world as kind of like a video game. Think about it. Now, when it comes to '02 and Ken, when he was a Digimon Emperor, Ken thought the digital world was completely and utterly fake. And he thought he was in some type of computer simulation where he can just do whatever he wants and harm whoever he wants, and it won't have no dire consequences. Tai, on the other hand, knows the digital world is real. But for him, in the early beginnings of the season, he assumed that his human body was back in the human world and that a digital copy of him was in the digital world with all his memories and all this and that. And so he was a bit more carefree and he didn't care if he got hurt. Like that time him and Izzy was in that little, they was in some kind of like tomb and Izzy was trying to decipher it and he was walking past and forth the electrical grid, not really caring if he could like, get hurt and everything. He's all like, who cares? My body's back in the real world and blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. But then he realized that, oh, he is indeed in the digital world and he's not in the human world. But when it comes to that of a video game, it's more not like he knows it's real. Like he knows it's real. But for him, it's like an adventure. Like, what kid wouldn't love to have like, this monster partner type thing with all these like superpowers and everything, and he gets to transform and level up and get to fight like the bad guys. So for him, it was like a major video game adventure and everything. And so like, he was living the dream like so many of us wish we could. So that's the kind of comparison I always felt, that he thought he was somewhat in a realistic video game where it's just every day is an adventure, every day is a power up, and every day you get to fight the bad guys and stuff, and then you get cheered and adored. And so like, he would do the right thing no matter what. And he, like I said before, with him being so courageous and stuff, he made one huge fatal mistake. See, like I said before, he's not perfect. He has his flaws. And one of the biggest moments in season 1 was an eye-opener, not only for him, not only for the Digidestins, not only for the Digimon, but us, the audience. It was a learning experience for everybody. It's when he got his crest. And so he pushed Greymon to his limit. And he wanted Greymon to just digivolve to the next level and take on this major bad guy. And he was so arrogant that he pushed Greymon so hard, or was it Agumon? I can't remember which one. That he literally put his life in danger just so his Digimon could digivolve. Because if your life is in danger, then your Digimon will digivolve and save your life. And so, because of that, and because it didn't happen naturally and everything, Greymon Dark Digivolve. I think it was Skull Greymon or something like that. It was this demonic looking skull version of him. And it was just crazy and chaotic and everything like that. He realized that he went too far and he could put like everything in jeopardy. And it taught the Digidestin and the other Digimon not to do this. And for us, it was a learning experience along with that of the characters. And, 2020 robbed us of that moment by altering it. And I'll get into that a little bit later. And then not only is that, but the other teammates, even though they can function on their own, it's made apparent they need Tai to keep them in line, to keep them in check, and to help them do this and to help them do that. Because when he went back to the human world and came back to the digital world, he was only in the human world for like a day. But in the digital world, time moves completely different. And so like when it moves a whole lot quicker and stuff. And so weeks pass by. And so like, if not, probably days or weeks, something like that. And the team disbanded. Basically, one left to go find, I think, him, and they never came back. And then another person left, and then another person left. And then basically they all split up and went on their own little mini adventure of self-discovery. And if he was there, they would have never done that. And when he does find them, because he's traveling trying to help find one by one, some of them are in really bad spots and everything. And like Mimi became like a princess overlord. Matt and Joe worked in like a restaurant where Matt was being so rude to Joe. I can't remember what the other ones did. And then TK, for whatever reason, decided to hang out with an evil Digimon and leave his Digimon partner alone, just so he can play around and everything. And so, of course, when he finds out Kari is like, the eighth child, he goes into parental mode. Like, he's really worried for her and stuff. And it's even to the point when she gets sick and collapses, he punches Izzy of all things and stuff. And like, him and Matt just can't get along. And it's one of those things where one thinks they're the leader and the other one has a suggestion and they both want to be leaders and they can't get along. Matt was his biggest rival in terms of the Digidestins. And it was great seeing that, like, this function between the two. Because like I said before, he's not a perfect character. He is flawed. But he learned as time went on to be a better leader, to be a better Digidestin. That was so great about Tai. Now we get into 2020 version. The 2020 version is basically perfect. Like, just like perfect in every way for the most part. And it's very annoying. He's literally just shoved in our face throughout the entire series. We first get introduced to him. Then he's like one of the first to go to the digital world. And then it pretty much just follows him like throughout the entire series. Even to the point where other Digidestins in their solo episodes, he's there like hogging all their screen time and everything. Him and Agumon are always at the front of like, the battle lines and everything. And they are literally the most powerful and stuff. For whatever reason, the creators wanted to make him like just like cram him in our face and shove him down our throat. Some people have said they're trying to make him the new Ash from Pokemon, which I have no idea because I've never watched Pokemon, and when I did, it was the newer episodes when Ash had like a new redesign and everything and a new voice actress and stuff. Only because like my relatives were young and they wanted to watch that. For whatever reason, they don't, my younger relatives don't even know what Digimon is and stuff. And when I tried to show them, they thought, okay, it's neat, but they never tried to go watch it online, try to find it, nothing like that. Anyway, um, and so one major problem, like I said before, is that they constantly shove him in every episode and down our throats. It's even to the point that when they have their individual crests, like personal development episodes, he's there. And it's just like he shows up out of nowhere. And at that time, the group has disbanded to do whatever their crest wants them to do and, stuff like that. And he shows up all the time. And when he shows up, he never brings his fellow Digidestineds with him that he encountered in the previous episode. It's always just him. And a lot of times these Digidestineds are separated by hundreds and hundreds of miles, and he just shows up out of nowhere. Now, of course, his Digimon has the ability to fly, so he can get there in like a shorter period of time. And Greymon can run pretty fast. And also, he probably picked up a vehicle and in like a train or something like that and just traveled, because they're giving things like that in like this season. But it's just weird how he just appears out of nowhere. And the other characters are like, Tai, where'd you come from? He's like, man, I don't know. But I'm here. And not only that, but like I said before, even in the major battles and the solo episodes of the other Digidestined, he is front and center in the battle. And sometimes he hogs all the battles for them. And what makes it even worse is that his Digimon literally turned into Omnimon in the very first episode. He hasn't learned nothing. He hasn't learned how to use the Digivice correctly. He hasn't learned what it meant to be a team leader. He doesn't know what it means to have like a partner. It's just given to him and Matt in the first episode. But like I said before, they robbed us of one of the greatest moments ever. Because when the younger audience sees this, they're not going to really know what the heck happened. So basically, remember I said that Greymon turned into Skull Greymon and turned evil because Tai was acting a little too arrogant and everything? Well, in this time turnaround, it is completely different. Here, instead of Tai pushing his Digimon to his ultimate limit and him trying to put himself in danger, basically he gets eaten by a Digimon. And this causes Agumon to go in a fit of rage, so much that he dark digivolves. And so it's kind of like, okay, if a younger audience is going to see this, they're just going to see that if your Digimon gets really pissed off, they will dark digivolve, as opposed to your partner making a huge mistake and you dark digivolving. That was the biggest rob of them all. And I'm just kind of like, no. They're making him too flawless and perfect. There's no scene where like him and Matt don't even really fight, to tell you the truth. There's no scene of him trying to jump through like that electrical grid thinking, oh, well, my body's back in the human world, but I'm just a digital copy. Like there's none of that. He's literally just perfect in everything. And it's almost like he can almost do no wrong. Now, one good thing is they still made him courageous. Like he's always there in the fight. And he's always there trying to like give his Digimon that extra boost of energy to fight like evil. So that's great. But everything else they did with him was just like horrible. Now him staying in the digital world with Agumon instead of going back home to be with his family and everything, that just felt a little selfish in a way, but it also makes him look kind of cool. Like, he just can't give up the digital world. He just can't give up his Digimon. I have mixed feelings about that, but other than that, the 2020 series just ruined this very beloved character. And I don't think there's not a single old school Digimon fan that loved the changes they made with Tai in the 2020 series. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.